There are hundreds of billions of alien worlds in the Milky Way galaxy. And scientists have already discovered and confirmed over 5,000 of them.
They call these worlds exoplanets. Some of them are really small, like Kepler 37b. This tiny planet is even smaller than Mercury, the smallest planet in our solar system. Kepler 37 is just slightly larger than our own moon. It could easily replace our cosmic companion in the night sky. Only it's pretty far from us. This tiny space rock is located 208 light years from Earth, where it orbits a star that's a bit smaller and cooler than our Sun.
Small rocky worlds like Kepler 37b are a pretty rare find. Because they're so tiny, they're more difficult to spot, but scientists have still managed to confirm about 200 of these worlds. Most of them are many times closer to their stars than our planet is to the Sun, and Kepler 62c is no exception. This Mars-sized exoplanet orbits its star roughly 4 times closer than Mercury orbits our Sun. It only takes a little over 12 Earth days to make a full orbit. Kepler 62c must be scorching hot and extremely volcanic. Definitely not the kind of place you'd want to visit. And neither is this exoplanet, KOI 55b. Scientists think this planet used to be the size of Jupiter, but then its sun exploded into a red giant and swallowed the planet whole. No surprise there, KOI 55b is incredibly close to its star. So close that it takes this hellish world less than 5 hours to make one orbit. And KOI 55b is evaporating so much that it will soon disappear from its planetary system. It's not alone. Many of these planets have their atmospheres torn away by their host stars. Some 41 light years from Earth, there's a super-Earth that used to be a mini Neptune. GJ 1132b might have had a thick hydrogen atmosphere in the past, but its young hot star stripped it away, leaving only a rocky core behind.
When its star stripped away its original atmosphere, some of the gases were absorbed into the planet's mantle, and now, through this planet's volcanism, they're released back. GJ 1132b could have become a potentially habitable world, but it's 26 times closer to its star than Mercury is to the Sun. No chances for life on this super-Earth.
But life might be possible on these slightly larger super-Earths. Scientists have found many of these worlds orbiting in their sun-like stars' habitable zones. And that's good news. Now, we'd have to go and explore more of these planets up close to find out what their atmospheres are like. This one seems intriguing. Kepler 452b is 1.6 times the size of Earth, and it's about 6 billion years old. Earth is a youngster compared to this world. Our planet is only 4.5 billion years old. Okay, now I know this is your favorite exoplanet, Kepler 22b. And I like it too. This super-Earth might be covered in a super-ocean. It sits comfortably in its star's habitable zone and has a huge potential for life.
The only problem is that it's big. Kepler 22b is 2.4 times larger than Earth and about 9 times more massive. If Kepler 22b was the size of Earth, it would have an average surface temperature of about 16 degrees Celsius. But because it's a lot bigger than Earth, it could be a rocky planet, a water world, or even a gaseous planet like Neptune.
And speaking of gaseous planets, at this size, exoplanets stop being super-Earths and become gas giants. More than half of all exoplanets we've discovered are either Neptune-like ice giants or gas giants like Jupiter. Many of them orbit a little too close to their host stars, and they pay a high price for that proximity. For one, they're incredibly hot, and sometimes their host star rips their atmosphere away. Kinda like what GJ 1132b went through. But among them, there are some cold planets too.
Oof! This is Kepler 16b. It's not quite as large as Jupiter, but the cool thing about it is that it orbits not one, but two stars. Only you wouldn't be able to see those stars because you wouldn't be able to stand on its surface. You see, Kepler 16b is a Saturn-sized gas giant. It might have some rocky elements inside it, but its two host stars are much cooler than our Sun, making Kepler 16b a frigid, lifeless world. Speaking of lifeless worlds, well, that might be what Earth becomes if we don't work to stop climate change. You've seen the hundreds of wildfires spreading across Canada. Well, this is due to climate change making the world hotter and drier. This toxic air made its way to New York, Toronto, Detroit, and Chicago, resulting in some of the worst air quality in the world. California is trying to prevent wildfires by purposefully burning thousands of acres a year. This is in order to reduce vegetation that could fuel a catastrophic wildfire. And this is just one example of what we need to do to help with climate change. Check to see what your local and federal governments are doing to help, because we only have one Earth and we don't want it to turn into one of these uninhabitable exoplanets.
Okay, now on to the worlds that are bigger than Jupiter. This delicious exoplanet has the density of a marshmallow. TOI 3757b is slightly larger than Jupiter, but it's not nearly as massive. But there are always bigger and badder planets out there, like Kepler 7b.
This one is interesting. Kepler 7b is larger than Jupiter, but it has half of Jupiter's mass. This means the planet is like a super light cloud, a scorching hot super light cloud. Kepler 7b is a hot Jupiter planet. It's 12 times hotter than the king of the solar system.
Still, Kepler 7b is not the hottest or the weirdest of the exoplanets. Some of these gas giants are so unimaginably hot that they tear molecules apart. Yeah, and some planets are just doomed. 1,400 light years away from Earth, a star slightly bigger and hotter than our Sun is devouring its planet.
This planet is called WASP-12b. It's almost double the size of Jupiter, but it's not going to last very long as far as planetary lives go. WASP-12b is so close to its star that it takes just over one Earth day to complete its orbit. Its own star is actually eating the planet's atmosphere, making it stretch into the shape of this egg. 10 million years from now, WASP-12b will be gone.
And some exoplanets are unimaginably huge. The biggest one of them is almost 7 times larger than Jupiter.
HD 100546b isn't just 7 times larger than Jupiter, it's also 750 times more massive. HD orbits its star 10 times further away than Jupiter orbits the Sun. That's pretty far, and it makes scientists wonder how this gigantic exoplanet formed so far away from its star.
There's no doubt that some exoplanets out there look promising for finding life. We've found quite a lot of them orbiting in the habitable zone of their stars. In fact, some of these worlds might even be better for life than Earth. But that's a story for another What If.